talk about this. So, I was having a conversation last night and talking to some family, some friends. And this is something that, I've been talking about to them for a long time. And when things get to the point where you get sick and tired of certain situations, sometimes it takes you years to see what people saw years ago. And then it's so often that somebody will talk to you and say, hey man, you was right. And it's not about I told you so. You're just trying to bring, awareness and light to a situation with truth. A lot of times, it would be beautiful if we could travel the world and don't have to deal with racism and all types of hatred, other types of hatred and nonsense. Corrupt police pull you over for no reason, pretending that, they smell weed in the car. I mean, we just saw a video of a bunch of cops who had a freaking female handcuffed in the prison, and they suffocated this girl, and it was all on video. And I'm saying, do these cops are they really that dumb? And you know what? It's screwed up that they're such hateful, rotten people. But the good thing about them being dumb is because they're too stupid to those cameras. This was the overhead camera, not even their body cam. They suffocated this girl. And I'm like, are they not aware that there's a camera in the room? Maybe they weren't aware. Or they just never thought about it. They told the paramedics that she passed out. She fainted. They have this all on video. They literally suffocated this girl. This is the police. The police. And it's nothing new. I want y'all to picture this. Okay? And this is real life. This is not a hypothetical, really. This is a situation that we see, and it's attached to things that they do. The police take pictures, hugging the wife, okay, or hugging the husband, whatever, hugging the kids, smiling, showing off their new place. Oh, look at dad on the grill with the big fork and the spatula. Oh, that's when he was making burgers. This was on our daughter's 3rd birthday. Hey, look at all these family pictures. Look at all the smiles, all the hugs. Look at Christmas, all the presents, right? Now, every day that these police leave their house, these police officers want to go back home to their families. And when you see these pictures and you see the kids, a lot of times that's what take people's minds off of the actual reality. Oh, look at the kids. Those same officers leave their house after holding hands and praying, wishing the wife or wishing the husband a great day at work, wishing the kids a good day in school, right? They leave their house with the mindset, I'm going to take someone's life today. I'm going to take a man or a woman away from their children. I'm going to take a child away from their siblings and their dad and mom. But I want to return home to mine safely. So somehow, if you're wearing a uniform, your kids and your life is more important than anyone else's. How do you feel about people like that? When someone, whether they're in a uniform or not, use the same criminal activity against them. Somehow, oh, they got an officer, right? Just think about it. No one's life is more valuable than the next. You took an oath to uphold and protect the law. Well, that's as relevant as someone saying, I do at a wedding, and then they do everything, the exact opposite of what they agreed to, and even their own wedding vows that they wrote down. So I look at this and I'm saying, well, you see this happening all over the place. The cops pull you over for whatever reason. Oh, I smell weed in the car. Yet nobody in the car smokes weed, cigarettes, drink, do nothing. Any little thing, a traffic stop turns into a murder scene. Now you take that into account that you can travel all over the place. Man, listen, I was always going out, going to different restaurants, going to different places, having a great time. I live my life. I'm not in fear of what may happen, but I'm aware, okay, of what's going on in this world. and it's a different day and time that we live in. It will be beautiful if you could go out and have no trouble with anybody. You go out now, and I'm explaining these things because there's so many people who make videos, so many people that I come in contact with and talk to about these very issues. And it's just like people don't seem to understand the simplest things until you say it to them. Then they go, damn, I never really thought about it like that. But it's so simple. Between corrupt police, between idiotic people, other idiotic people, between, just all types of nonsense, the racial profiling, like everything. You going out somewhere and your own people acting like a bunch of idiots. I mean, like everything that you can possibly think of that you see happen on a regular basis. My question to people is this. Along with that, you go to work every day. You come home from work, you want to kick back, you want to bathe and eat and, relax and chill. And some people, but the vast majority of people, everything has to be outside of their home. So my question was this, too. One of my questions. It's a rhetorical question for first off, but just think about this. Does a rich person buy a mansion so they can constantly be out in the streets? Or do they want to, what's the purpose of the mansion? Because I got this luxury home, I got everything here that I need. Somehow you're never in it. We have a mansion to come home to, but my idea is just to make money and then spend it as soon as I get it. If you're in a relationship with someone that just want to spend, that's a huge problem. And that's one of the biggest problems that people have. Now, the only difference with rich people is that, okay, I can make it without you with no problem at all. I won't lose my mansion. I don't have to downgrade anything, right? Just you're gone. Unless that person gets sued really bad in their career, that person that gets sued career, just completely falls rock bottom. But what I'm saying, you buy these things, you got all these cars, and most of these cars are just for show. They don't even drive these cars far. At the end of the day, though, what's the purpose of having all of that if you're never in it? I mean, I remember like over a decade ago, Dr. Dre said his electric bill was like $10,000 a month. And this was over a decade ago, well over a decade. So I can imagine what it is now. Now, you have to be rich and have a mansion in order to want to do those things. What's the purpose of, we want a mansion? To show off? People get so bored. People are so childish. And the things that people do is not because they really want to, but because they just like the floss. They like the high side and show off, right? You can come home and something can happen anywhere, but just regularly, you can come home and sit back and relax and you're away from all the BS, right? You could take your family out to dinner and you guys sit down and have a nice dinner and everything is fine. And it's not even when you can afford it. I think this is what people fail to understand. Principles don't change just because you can't afford something. But if something is breaking your pockets, then you got to think, because there's people that don't know how to cook. They never buy enough food or make enough food that lasts for like 3 or 4 days out of the week. I'm tired of eating that. I had that already, right? So everything is every day you're spending money buying fast food or some restaurant food. You got this high maintenance, inconsiderate person that you're with that think that your money is just basically like air. It's just everywhere. And that bottom line is you guys don't save anything. Now you get to a certain age. And then let's just say the things that you used to do, you have no interest in anymore. What happens now when you look at your finances and think, man, if we hadn't been spending all that goddamn money for the past 20, 30 fucking years, we would have a lot of money still, saved up. But now, in our older age, and our winter years, we have to still go out here and work and still grind because we saved no money. Now what? This fantasy life that people have in their head is why people are unhappy. You build this nice, beautiful home, or you buy a nice, beautiful home just so you can never be in it. Why is it fun to go to the neighbor's house and watch TV? Why is it not fun in your own house? Why is it fun to go and spend? In all honesty, I heard a guy, I'm always hearing somebody complain about money. And I heard a guy say, we went, it's a restaurant that we go to. In fact, on the thumbnail, that same restaurant, you see the plate of food, that's the same restaurant. I remember going there, and just for 3 people, it was like $60-something, right? That same exact order right now for 3 people is $160. For 3 people. So if you are immature, if you're weak and you don't know how to put your foot down, this is the bad thing about a toxic relationship, is because when you start to realize you're in one, but you're scared of putting your foot down because you think that person's going to walk out, man, I'm going to be honest with you, that's the best thing that can happen, is that person walks out. You're fine without that person. And it's really sad, because that person, it's easy to go to somebody's house and junk it up, right? Have a cookout, throwing your garbage everywhere, not clean up behind yourself. Get a whole burger, take 1 bite. Get a hot dog, take 1 bite. Get some potato salad, take 1 bite. You know, have some corn on the cob, take 1. Just waste everything because you're not paying for nothing. So nothing matters to you. Now, you pay mortgage in your home every month. You pay your utilities every single month. Whether your car's paid for or not, you're still paying car insurance every single month. You got to put food in that belly every single month, every day. Every day you got to eat, every day. So all month long, you're just spending. Now on top of that, you're constantly putting gas in your car and driving just everywhere because I'm just bored at home. Wow. Then you need new tires because your tires are bald. You got wear and tear on your car. Who's going to help you fix your car? That's your responsibility, right? But you're just not responsible enough to think like an adult. Let's be real. That's wear and tear that you have to pay for. And then nobody's breaking their neck to come and see you. You're the one always, I got to go here and regardless. You guys are always broke and you're always complaining. And then what happens is you start looking at your significant other like they're insignificant. They're not making enough money because you want to spend. I want to travel the world. I want to see different places. Then you go to these places and you have bad experiences. Hell, every Friday, Saturday, we going to the club. We about to go, right? And something always goes wrong. When you don't have and take pride in your own home and you don't have anything to be entertained with in your own home, don't you think you should say, you know what? Let's build things. Let's do things in this house that why is it, damn, the people down the street, their house is no better than ours. Why is it so much fun over there? It's just something about people. One of the biggest things is there's no real love in the house. I just want to get away from him. I just want to get away from her. That's what the real truth is. And this is exactly why couples spend so much time away from each other. And when they come home, it's not like, oh, I'm so happy to see you. Nope. Hey, how was your day? How was your day? A little bullshit conversation and y'all go to sleep. One of y'all wants sex, the other one is too tired. Everything costs. And if you have one of those jobs where, man, I just want to go home. And you got that feeling so often, now you go home. You don't want to be home either. It's amazing how I drive around this neighborhood. And when I first came to this neighborhood, nobody was leaving. Everybody had a house, whether you had a pool in your backyard or whatever. Bottom line, there's a house that I see where they got a little bridge that goes from the shoulder all the way through to their property, and then they have a big ass pond out there. So sometimes you see them out there with the electric boats, little like remote boats, or sometimes they sit there, they got the pedal boats that you have. It's a nice size, nice big size, man. Just picture a playground, a basketball court that has 4 hoops on it. It's like that size, or probably bigger. Probably bigger, actually. And they out there in the pedal boats, just pedaling. The kind of boats that you sit back and pedal like a bike. And they're out there, they chill. They have a volleyball court set up, got the sand out there and everything. They got the basketball court. So at the end of the day, what I'm saying to you is, when you take pride in home, you learn to appreciate home. And that's for real. Y'all know how that is. Every time I start recording, somebody start pop, like, why? Somebody's always asking for something, though, asking their advice or something. All right, but look, y'all. So look, when you don't have any real structure in your house, any structure in your relationship, when there's just, childishness, when nobody has maturity, one of the biggest problems that this generation of people have, and I'm talking from the oldest to the young, there's no maturity. People get bored very fast, and everything that come out their mouth, I'm bored. We hear it all the time. I'm bored. He don't want to go nowhere. Man, she don't want to go nowhere, man. And these are the people. I want y'all to think about this, right? How often do people that you know, it can be family or friends, call you saying shit like, yeah, hey, yo, listen, I need to borrow some money, man. Let me hold something. Yeah, because you know what happened was blah, blah, blah. And like, yeah, man, I don't get my check till Friday. So, like, I'm going to need something, like, for the rest of the week. Because, like, yeah, man, I have to pay this and this, right? You know damn well why they telling you all that BS. It doesn't matter. Either you're going to do it or you're not. But you know that for the most part, it's because they overspend. They don't budget their money properly. Girl, I'm broke. Girl, and it's so sorry ass, no good, mom. He's supposed to be my man, and he ain't got nothing in this, and he did, right? And you want to know what you won't never say to her? I understand what you're saying, but you can't really blame him. Because that man go out and work all the time. He make what he make. You know what his salary is. You know what it was when y'all settled down. I know, girl, but I thought by now he'd be making more money and trying to better himself. But meanwhile, you just a part of the begging committee. What, damn it, you're pointing the finger. You don't have nothing. And you won't say, listen, that's your man. Stand by him. Stop pressuring him and stop constantly, oh, let's go here, let's go there. Because all you doing is spending his money. And then he got to go to work. And then when he got to put the work in, sometimes he might have to do overtime. You're not even considering that. It doesn't even matter to you that y'all don't spend quality time. All that matters to you is that he just keeps coughing up money. And at the end of the day, same thing. Your homies is running around here, and most of the time it's because they're overspending, whether it's because they have a female that just constantly wants her, they're out here buying stuff that they don't need. Yo, the new Jordans just came out. I know they $400, but yo, I gotta have that though, bro. I'm going to, they drop tomorrow. Yo, I'm going there as soon as the mall open, because, and this person will call out of work or put in a day for that day just so they can get them goddamn Jordans. Now here's a motherfucker went and spent half his check on some sneakers. Now he ain't even paid his utilities yet, or his rent or whatever. He ain't paid none of that yet. He ain't paid none of that. So now you got to recoup, because the next week, and you know how people, they pay bills throughout the month. All right, I just paid this bill. And if you get paid, however, whether it's weekly or bi-weekly, bottom line, you don't have extra money just laying around, right? You make what you make. If people learn how to enjoy home, you'd have a lot more money to save up, man. And stop trying to make every day of your life some adventure outside somewhere. You guys sit and watch these videos. You see a lot of the same stuff I see. Every time you turn around, somebody's fighting somewhere. A fight breaks out in the restaurant. A fight breaks out in the movie theater. A fight breaks out just on the sidewalk somewhere. A fight breaks out at schools. Like anywhere you can possibly go to have a good time. And then for me, I feel like, do you want to put yourself and your loved ones in harm's way? Because especially even as a couple. This lady asked me something the other day, right? I think she said Macon, Georgia is about to start having these disco shows again. So Fridays and Saturdays when y'all hitting, the clubs and all that, like theirs is gonna be disco. And they think she said that they starting to play the music on a local radio station out there again. And I said, it might be a change for the better, maybe. And why I say that is because disco was feel-good music. People went to disco shows to dance. They roller skated to disco and all that. They went out to have a good time. Disco was about, like I said, feeling good and just chilling. So people wanted to come out the next week because they wanted to go dance and chill. Wasn't nobody going to no goddamn disco standing around like thugs and gangsters, waiting to fight somebody, to shoot somebody. Or that's not what it was. People actually used to dress up. I remember when I was a little kid, I used to be laughing at these motherfuckers. Hey, yo, what the fuck are they wearing, man? Motherfucker got a long silver ass bodysuit on with some fucking long ass boots with the like spikes sticking up and all that. And y'all know the type of shit Grandmaster Flash them used to wear, or Melly Mel and his group and all. And I used to be like, yo, I used to be cracking, or even Cameo. Like, what are these motherfuckers wearing? But the whole point was, it was just like dressing up for a Halloween party for them. They was just going out to have fun. And we used to sit and watch old videos, be cracking like, yo, what is this shit, man? Like, but look, that's the whole point. Wasn't nobody trying to be tough. How you gonna play tough, dress up like Cameo? Yeah, I mean, like, that's not what it was about. It was about having a good time. I said maybe this will restore that feeling. But there's always the possibility that you're gonna have some idiots wait, yo, there's gonna be some bitches out there, bro. Word up, yo. Yeah. They ain't going for no damn disco. These motherfuckers don't want to dance. These thugs out there, hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully this is a place that's different and they're not just letting just anybody in there. And you know what, man, if they start going back to dress codes, you can't come in here wearing certain things, or you got to be padded down, all that. If they started doing that, it would make everything, it would make the environment, people more safer. It would just be a more pleasant thing going on. Again, for some idiots to go sit outside and just park their car waiting to see women coming in and out, you don't know if these people are in relationships or not. And that's one of the things about back then. Because disco, these motherfuckers couples was going out. Couples was going out. You wasn't going, even if you went out as friends, most people really didn't go there to look for somebody. They went there with a female. They went there with a dance partner. They used to have the little competitions and all that. It was a different mindset. So now everything got to be in front of a camera. Everything is just social media. Back then, it was more like everything was just for fun, man. People did what they did to get their mind off of BS, and they did what they did. They indulged in things that was fun to them. So maybe this will be a change for that. But at the end of the day, my case in point, how many places can you really say you go to and it's just fun all the time and nothing ever happens? I mean, and my thing is, if you're going to spend money on something, it shouldn't be you breaking your pockets to have fun, especially when you're not paying for anything. Because what's fun to you, and you can care less that person that's out there paying for everything is breaking their pockets just to put a smile on your face, but they're always frowning because every time they get paid, they're broke. Now they got to go recoup and do overtime and everything. And while they're doing that, they don't even get a, hey, how you doing? I miss you. I was thinking about nothing. Can't come home to a home-cooked meal. Can't come home to a clean house. Nothing. All your interest is outside. Now, when both of you think that same way, you have a problem. You have a problem. And let's just be real. Fellas, what's the purpose of going to a club with your female? Who's she going to be dancing with other than you, right? Okay, y'all going to sit there, smoke hookahs, drink, smoke, whatever, smoke weed, whatever the hell it is y'all do in clubs now, and vice versa. Ladies, what's the purpose? You going to a club, but y'all not even dancing. Y'all just sitting there smoking and drinking and socializing. Like, it's a whole different vibe now. That's why I brought up the whole thing about the disco era. But what I'm saying, even in that, like, people dance to house music and all that. This is like, the vibe was different. The music now has just become toxic. The mindset has become toxic and pretty much is encouraged. Now, do you really, really look forward to Friday and Saturday so you can go out, leave your home, and go somewhere and get shot at? Or run into your car because somebody's shooting and you don't know which direction the bullet's coming from? girl, we had to shut the club down. They was out there shooting. And yeah, I know. And you was all half naked and everybody saw your titties bouncing while you was running to your car, scared with them high heels on, about to break your neck. And then, but y'all going to be right back out there next week. Or find another club that has the same type of troubles to go to. And case in point, everything is so expensive now that it's like, really, a person don't love you if they just want to spend all your money, first of all. Especially when they know you don't have the kind of money that they're demanding and they don't want to help do anything. And if y'all are doing things together, because one thing about building is, that's one thing, like back in the day, people said a man's home is his castle, right? Home was the shit back in the day. I go where I need to go and I go where I want to go. I don't spend too much time just running around doing a bunch of nothing. So what I do with a purpose. So when we go out and you think about it, you're paying all of this money to keep a roof over your head, to keep flowing water, heat, and all that. You're paying for all of that. Electricity and all. You're paying for all of this. And you're bored in it? So what you get a house for? Why you just keep living with your parents? Why'd you go get an apartment? I have 100-inch fucking TV in every room. We have we got all this nice furniture, everything, but we're just never in it. I'm bored. You know, when you have kids, right? Sometime your kid might go, can I go help such and such clean up? Like, let's get this straight. You want to go help your friend down the street clean up his or her house, but you haven't even cleaned your own room. Now, you don't see a problem with that? In fact, those dishes right there, who put them there? You. So you don't think you should clean up your own? You don't have that same enthusiasm? It starts when they're little. That's where it starts. You got 2 brothers in the house, 2 sisters, 2 brothers, 2 sisters, whatever, right? Got a family, but none of your siblings, none of your offspring want to play together. All the siblings want to go play with this person, that person. They argue with each other, but as soon as they see that classmate, go running up to that person. They want to be around everybody other than each other. And you keep carrying on this whole thing about, yeah, but you know, that's just how family is, man. Deep down inside, they really love each other. No. Parents don't know how to parent anymore. And these kids grow up doing what they want. And your kids grow up with the same attitude as you. They just want everything. And pretty much, I don't see the point in making all this money just to turn around and be broke every week. And then you turn around and look, like I said, when you get to that point where you realize, man, you wasted so much money. Now in your older years, you got to be working just as hard. Nobody care about your age. You can't do the work, retire. I used to work in a nursing home. I can't tell you how many countless times I've seen people break down into tears. Because these people once were homeowners. They once could take their key after driving up in their car to their driveway, up into their house, and open their door and come in the house and just relax and kick back. And I'm going to tell you something. When you take those things for granted, you not to be cliche, but people don't miss the water till the well runs dry. And that's serious. You take this for advantage. How many people take this for neglect? Yeah. Do you know how many people I see sit up in nursing homes can't even do that? They can't even do that. Can't brush their own teeth. Can't wipe their own ass. Can't tie their own shoes. Can't even put their shoes on. Can't bend without getting out of breath. And they got to lay up in feces and urine until somebody come and clean them. And you know how embarrassing it has to be to them? Now is when you start thinking of all of the time you wasted, all the people you've hurt, and all the things you've done where you made the less wise decisions. Think about it, y'all. This is your home. Why did you want a home? To never be in it. Your home, you can control what you watch on TV. Stop being on your cell phone every 5 seconds, bitching and complaining and worrying about nonsense and chitter chatter. But this is the way the world moves. Everything is negative, negative, negative. Learn how to turn those negatives into positives, at least in the sense of at home. You should be able to laugh, smile, be yourself, and just have the greatest time. If you can't do that in your own home, please tell me, y'all, where in the fuck can you go just to do those things? I remember a person told me, when I go to church, I feel rejuvenated. I feel good about life. And I'm just like, yeah, you got to go to church to do that. Funny thing, I pulled up the scripture that said, the Spirit of the Lord does not dwell in a house built by the hands of man. That means that peace you're so-called looking for. You see it in the movies as well, right? Everybody want to be a grand master, karate master or something. Looking for all of this special power somewhere. They look everywhere except for inside of themselves. But you just feel good. Why? Because they're playing music and playing drums and telling you bullshit. I guarantee you, when they're speaking about messages that you're guilty of, I bet you shut that part out. Because when you just think about what you're saying, I have a husband at home, I have sons and daughters at home, whatever. I have a home, period. But I'm just bored. I don't feel loved in my house, or I don't, right? It's always some excuse to not be in it until you're laid. I know a person that came from another country. A person came from Haiti, abandoned her sons and daughters, never accomplished nothing. She now lives in a nursing home. Now, you came from a whole other country just to live in a freaking nursing home. This is where she lives now. She used to tell her sons and daughters, I don't go to work. You go to work and you go to pay me. I stay home and you go to work and you pay me. This is what she used to tell them. I'm like, wow. Now, this is where she lives. One daughter's here. One son is there. The other son is there. The other daughter there. The whole family is. And my whole thing with that was the same thing. They drag them to church every Saturday. Because, they're Seventh-day Adventists, and every Saturday. And it's like, what's happening for the better in your lives? Nothing. Now, one of the sons is a father himself, and you know what he says to me? And I wish I took heed to the lessons that you taught me years ago, man, because I'm starting to experience things. And you told me everybody don't get it at the same time. But I'm bringing it to your attention because when you become a parent, if your babies don't make you start to make the wiser decisions, then nothing will. And you will constantly screw up, and you may be one of them fathers that is not in their life because you went out and tried to rob a bank or commit a crime to try to get money or do something because you don't know what else to do. Because nobody in your house was able to teach you that. And now, Mr. I'm about to hit the city. I'm going to New York, yo. Yeah, man. I don't mean you got to sit in the house and be a couch potato. I ain't saying don't go to the gym. I ain't saying don't go to the supermarket. I'm not saying don't know. I'm saying stop finding everything that you have to do have to be outside of your house to have fun. That's what I'm saying. Hell, nowadays people building gyms in their house. I got my own gym. I don't have to ever see a gym ever in my life. I got everything I need here. Every part of my body. I'm great. But case in point, it's good to get some fresh air. But just like I said the other day, man, it's like, wow, my dad is not in the best condition, man. And my father always say, I hate that y'all got to see me like this. I used to say to my father, like, Pop, why you stop walking? My father used to take his walks and, and now it's just like he's just laid up there in that fetal position. And he'll sit up. He can sit up on his own, but he needs assistance sometime. And it's like my father is really like giving up inside because there's things that he need to take and he don't want to take it. And I think a part of him inside is like he just want to go. My father been saying that shit since I was a little kid. Yo, daddy's just tired. Me want to go. I'm ready to go. I'm just ready to go. And I hated hearing them say that because I know what they mean. When they say that, they're not talking about I'm tired because I had a hard day at work. It's just I'm tired of living. And this is why I also know that Christian life, all that fucking living for God bullshit they talk is full of shit. Because if you're living that life and you're as happy as you pretend to be when you in church, then why are you ready to go? And that also means if you truly believe that God has put you somewhere and this God has given you things, well, that means you don't appreciate it. And these the same people that teach you living for God is about long suffering and all that bullshit. Why would anybody want to suffer? Why would anybody look forward to suffering? Like this is just how you're supposed to live when you're a good person. You suffer. But the bad people, this is how they always taught you to simplify it. The bad people, yeah, they have their heaven on earth. But when we die, we going to heaven where it matters. It's like, wow. So why even come here in the first place, right? And the more they talk, the more of a fairy tale I started to really understand that this shit is all bullshit. But regardless to any of that, case in point, my dad is in his house, but he can't even enjoy anything. He lay up in the room. He don't even have a TV in the room. He don't want a TV in the room. And to get around and move around is stressful. Him and his wife the same age, so it's a lot on her as well. And then just for him to get up and go out and get fresh air, my dad passes out a lot. They don't know what's causing it. They say they don't know what's happening. So different things they try with him, and it usually would happen when he eat. He would just wind up passing out, and then next thing you know, 911 comes. He's back in the hospital. But my father always said he'd never be like that. God will never ever turn his back on his people, and God wouldn't let him do that. And my mom said God would never give you more than you could handle. She said she'd never end up being a vegetable, but she also asked me to tell her, they promise her that I would pull the plug if she did end up being a vegetable and all that and stuff like that. And I watched everybody in my family die. Everybody. Nobody just went to sleep and never woke up again. All of them suffered miserably. All right, y'all. I'm going to bring this into an end. As y'all can see, yeah, man, people just keep, but yeah. Listen, y'all, this is really, really, really simple. If you don't make your house a home, you really have nowhere to go special. And when you tell yourself that you have to be somewhere other than home to have a good time, that's not good. In fact, you are putting yourself mentally in a position where you're never, ever going to find happiness and nothing that you do. And even if you found somebody that thought like you'd be in a world of trouble, because you and that person both are going to want to go and do this and do that, but only one of you are going to be expected, to put some pedal to the metal and go out and make more, do more. And when that's the case, how are you going to find happiness? Where? I don't understand the whole point. Even like back in the day, we used to get together and have game night. We used to do that often and relax and chill. And especially when we all lived in the same state. And I'm saying, okay, the furthest person from you is 15 minutes. No problem. We can get to each other with no problem. It's just a thing of neglect. It's funny because people, like I said, they'll do all of this for a church member, for a neighbor somewhere, for some coworker that they just met. But when it comes to each other, it's always a problem. It's just something about family and your so-called best friends. And then you'll choose your best friends over your husbands and over your wives. But it's weird to me. All this bestie, my day one, and all of this, you going out somewhere and expecting one person to pay for everybody and all this kind of stuff, when are you going to find happiness? And be honest with you, this is why a lot of dudes I'm seeing doing this. I know some females who they're not with that drama and that nonsense. They do it too. But it's not a whole lot of people that, don't get me wrong. And I'm not talking about elderly people, because the elderly ones, they're the ones that finally understand that. That's why you see them out there doing yard work, keeping their place looking good, and they're just home, relaxing in the comfort of their own home. All right. 5 times, y'all. All right. But anyway, yeah, you got to make your house your home. If you can't do that, it's like they're saying, if you don't love yourself, who's going to love you? It's the same thing. And people got to learn, man, put things in your house that you enjoy. Structure your house, model it to where you love being home. Everybody walking to somebody else's house and always, oh, wow, this is such a beautiful home. Oh, I do the same thing to yours. If you stop taking money, going to the clubs every weekend, If you stop taking money, running to restaurants, spending, $500-600 a week on goddamn restaurant food and all, if you stop doing all of that, keep emptying your tank out, having to put gas in your damn car 3 times a week, filling it up, and spending damn near $200 on gas, you'd be able to actually save money. You'd be able to put things in your house that you actually love to do. Y'all love to stream and make money off y'all streaming and stuff like that, right? There's so many different things you can do. Instead of sitting there taking stupid ass pictures and photos meaninglessly for nothing, and then sitting there, viewing your restaurant experience when you go on a date with somebody, trying to embarrass them and all that nonsense. But you got to break away from people like that, because they'll never get it. So when people, I'm just bored, I'm just home doing that. So you just happy when you out around a bunch of people that you do nothing but argue with, and can't stand whoever's in front of you because she thinks she cute with her little tight outfit on, and who this bitch looking at. No, this is like, come on, y'all. For one, you need to change your attitude, but you need to grow up and understand, if you can't enjoy home, where the hell can you enjoy? Where can you go and enjoy yourself, but you can't do it at home? I know people who lived in overly crowded houses. They had a situation where you got a person come bring their friend in, their friend come in with their kids, and they're living in your house and all this, and it's just a lot of uncomfortable situations going on. Y'all not dealing with none of that. Everything y'all doing is just, hey, I'm just bored. I'm just bored. That's what I hear. I'm just bored. So going and sit up in some clubs and where smoke, drink, get high, laugh, and talk about nothing. Somehow this is fun. And this is all you're doing. I say, invest that money into yourselves, into your home. If you're renting an apartment, you paying rent, same thing. You just paying rent there. You're never going to own that apartment, but at least the least you can do is fix it up nice to where, hey, I at least love my time here, as opposed to I'm bored when I'm home. So you'll just stay home and sleep all day. Won't do anything because you can't find anything interesting to do. The immaturity is real, and that's what's causing people to think the way they're thinking. Learn how to stay home. Going out used to be fun. This is a different day and time we're in right now. And for all this police corruption, all the racism going on, your own people acting like idiots, all types of nonsense that you see happening in this world, somehow it's like we see it, but we don't avoid it. That's why I said we as human beings live so close to animals. I'm talking about in our behaviors. Then we realize, because we know better, but we'll still do the wrong things, or we'll just make unwise decisions. Anyway, choice is yours. That's all I got for y'all. Catch you on the next video.